live a little earlier. Currently waiting for sunrise in Australia. Better see the conditions of fire and smoke that you could not see during nighttime. You cannot see smoke on satellite, single percentage as well at night. Sunrise will show a lot of smoke probably around Alice Springs, North Australia. Out to see the islands far west and far west. That smoke is traveling very, very far. Currently, we have up is Sacramento, California. This is all smoke detected right now in the Bay Area to the uh, Greater Tahoe region. Currently looking at the air quality index of everywhere east of San Francisco. These fires have been burning in Northern California for a while, but in the last 3 days, it's been a noted upturn in smoke. Will lead to poor air quality, but since these sensors aren't as numerous as they are in the Bay Area, it doesn't tell us exactly. Story, because this could be top to bottom red. We see a lot of this. It's missing some. No telling, but look on satellite. Zoom Earth because it just takes all the stitching of all the tiles, does everything automatically, brings in pretty much all the agencies responsible for satellite image into one place, set together perfect by 10-minute increments as well. It's not always easy getting to the 10-minute increment satellite image. Say Australia, color. Come down here, Sacramento. I can see the fires here. But that isn't what we're looking at. We're trying to find just the smoke. As you can see, it is lousy with smoke today. There is fog south in Orange County and such, but Sacramento and Stockton all the way east to probably get into the Bay Area now is a pretty decent amount of smoke that came up through the valleys last night. Massive fire, but at least the fire looks to have been fought back. But the smoke that was released during those hours of burning have set a cost locally on the Bay Area, down to Fresno even. It's not fog, it's not cloud. Oh, oh, was a heavy amount of smoke that was released in great quantities, really fast. That smoke has to go up, dissipate, get hit by the winds, and flattened out. So it looks like this. A lot of smoking conditions. Bay Area East, the greater region, Greater Tahoe region. This is alertwildfire.org, going to the Greater Tahoe region. Going to look to see if there is any notable smoky conditions, Greater Tahoe region, and or of the Bay Area. Got smoke. So everywhere it would be hard to tell, but if you lived in the area, it would not be hard to be able to know. Just like any other time in the Midwest, Iceland. Very hazy conditions around this area. Don't see any fires, just like rain in an interval, and what, sunlight, sunlight, sunlight. Now looking for smoke. Smoke is sticky. Smoke doesn't do anything on its own. It doesn't move. It needs to be moved, and there's plenty of factors that play into California and Australia when it comes to moving smoke out of the way. Possible haze here. That might be the fire we were looking. Oh, seems burn like trains. Well, that is certainly a fire burning. This is a 3-minute interval. The flashes of heat and fire. Embers getting caught up in all the smoke and straight off with it. That's a burning place there. Significant amount of fuel in just a small area. 15-minute interval of Mount Danaher in California in the Sacramento area, the Greater Tahoe region. Still south of the South Tahoe by Big Bear Diamond Spring. That was time lapse of a fire that is burning. We can see where the camera might be. Oh. Well, it certainly sees smoke on the horizon. See if it camera pans over the fire that's currently be controlled. Be a controlled fire. Aimed. I might have froze. Currently not responding. Try to reach back. Hold to up. Saw that one possibly X. Quarters. The Albert time lapse. Fires burning. Right there is a pretty good fire that's been burning since today. It looks to have been controlled. Back. A lot of smoke that was rushing through the alleys last night that ended up being dispersed and spread throughout the whole east, down all the way to Fresno. A lot of smoke, but it looks to be contained. Going back to refreshing fire and smoke map. Smoke is pretty big, pretty dense. Higher up you go, these sensors, most of them aren't going to be set off either. All east areas here where the fires originated, not cross over. But the smoke did, and it went everywhere. Much as I can say. Not looking the best right now for quality in the San Jose Bay Area. Or air wildfire. Oregon, that fires burning Texas. Not abnormal. Don't see a lot of insane air quality fires burning in Canada lately. Good. Now, since it seems to be at a bit of calm, at least for what I can see, these fires in Idaho that are burning into Montana might be a problem. The three-state fire line that's just Washington, Idaho, uh, something to look at. Fires can think the reservation fire brigade, national forest, federal property, a lot of national forest. That we go to Australia's air pollution in Australia. It's just really just air quality and signs of smoke. Now, after what I just said about California and how much of California seems to be missing air quality sensors and stations, where are all of the air quality stations for Australia? I can play a game of Snake. What is happening here? This is not okay. Their fire season began in August, and they still haven't put forward any other air quality index station, sensors, monitors outside of ACT, outside of Victoria. So of course, when by the Gold Coast up to Brisbane have a wildfire nearby, is evacuation, poor air quality. But you won't hear about poor air quality anywhere else because there's nothing. So Australia is currently lacking. So for what we can see currently all the way up to Darwin and Northern Territory, Australia, here has a 94, but that's all that smoke's being routed off to the waters and seas. It's not hanging around. It's not falling down after a period of time of a lull. It's down here and several evacuations, wildfires, burning extremely adjacent. Very much so. Air pollution, Australia, real time air. I can use. It's not that I'm gonna zoom in or air stations are going to pop in. No, no, no. They're just not there. This is unspeakable amount of negligence. Very. It's a strange degree of neglect. After how many years of smoke warnings, bushfires, wildfires that burn the countrysides and mountainsides, it is very strange to only see any air quality stations you get to ACT. ACT is Australian capital. Not South Wales to Victoria. It's a lot of tourism areas as well that are kept up with these. Brisbane, but especially Perth. Perth should have all these aren't entirely expensive to set up. People can volunteer on their own even. At least in the United States, we can volunteer our own sensors. I'm on that quality index visual map here, California. California has a lot in comparison to anywhere else in Australia that's not Australian capital territory. So carve out here. It's weird in Australia. Tourism. Smoke usually makes everything very uncomfortable. Won't know just how uncomfortable it gets in most of Australia, in this big ass country, in this continent. It's and for a striking portion of Australia. This is where smoke exists right now. We would have a better idea of the quality index if at least these sensors were public facing. Let's hypothetically assume that they exist and that Australia isn't failing its people this hard, especially in the start of fire season has been August. Firefighters striking, it's dairy farmers striking. It's a lot of striking in Australia right now. And it's going to not know if it gets worse because smoke is just going to wait until it crosses over to Indonesia for their sensors to pick it up, which they have plenty. They're right on the screen here between Western Australia and Northern Territory. Right, are a series of fire runs that happen continuing left, right. They pretty much eating the land like a typewriter types. Carriage return. Wind picks it up. Fires don't end after just a few days. I don't know if anybody is fighting these fires. Take a look at real-time satellite imagery. Now, we don't have to go very long before we start seeing conditions of fire. Smoke. Australian outback. It's a lot of fires burning, difficult to reach areas, especially when they start up right before night begins, like last night they did. That had to have been frantic. So I wasn't listening to any of their monitors. I still imagine that you have maybe an hour of sunlight left and need air support to hit these fires. You think they're out and they just coming back. They're zombies. What we're seeing here, all this burned land all around. Fire up here that's burning, connecting this fire, burning fire perimeter here, active fire perimeter here. Zoom in. These images are composites. Last 3 days satellite Australia. Not looking at any further back. I don't want these scans overlap of each other. Incorrect data. 3 days is, as we can see, we all see plenty of smoke evident everywhere. Very dark, low. You can take the ridges of the valleys. Hang of these fires having a lot of valleys and slopes. Driven. Another run here. Rain of smoke. These are fires that have been burning since at least August. Not these fires right here, these areas, as far as I'm aware, haven't been burning for a little bit yet. How far this fire has traveled, far earth. And filter out 11%. Fade. 1. Okay. See here, the land looks pretty healthy. Dry conditions. October. August. Australia. Now the fires start southeast. Work their way northwest. Alarmingly fast. Is the 8th of October. 13th of October, it's already made north with smoke allows. Now the 18th. So within the last 3 days, hundreds of kilometers of distance land all along a river. River's a valley and heat escape as more fiery debris and smoke river carry fiery material on, catch the downstream on fire. So hundreds of kilometers fire perimeter that even if let's say that so then 3 days. This is from a distance of 10 kilometers. Date is up here top right. It is huge fire growth over just a few short days. I don't have any images 18th, 20th yet. I would on other using. They focused on one view gives the most dramatic reason. See so much more of how this fire traveled, how the fire has burned using their services. You can see it's everything in pretty good scale. This is, you can't fight this. So we're fighting the fire here and had a lot of heavy machinery and planned burns beforehand, and the fire just hits north on a bank and just burns up a river. There is not a lot you can do about that. These fires, the embers, all can be 700 degrees Fahrenheit. Such close proximity, they don't cool off as quick. They're lifted in the air and they're spread out and turn to ash and get it. This is anger. Really very angry fire, especially right up here. Now zooming in more here. Can't see any vehicles from the tons of smoke, measurable dry land. Fires might have not had to have burned. Oxide, Tibbs, I will I will collect attempt to 20th. Oh, because I'm in Italy. I gotta go far over. Far over. I am in a different hemisphere. Not more faster. Kilometers. Australia today. Yeah. So I would bet money. Quite I shouldn't say I don't figures don't use. Draw indicators, thick marks that's billowing from fires that are placed for all fires and all the smoke and chemicals and elements that are releasing the atmosphere locally. It's not going very high. But I can zoom out even further. You can see this is just the Northern Territory of Australia. Indonesia up here. Smoke far off Australia exists still. That smoke doesn't just go anywhere. It can come back. As other countries before smoke like California burns off. It's the Bay Area instead. Oregon wildfires. Smoke doesn't just harmlessly travel. Comes back to civilization. Smoke follows it. Doesn't smoke leads itself and it's going to be together, but it's not going to be a storm front of smoke. It's going to be a storm front with smoke, pushing smoke moving. So until when hit these today, it's going to be heavy time lapse. Just October 11th. This will give us a better smoke projection, and we're then down to 17th. Wildfires been burning, but how the smoke travels fine. Red's going to be fire perimeter, burns and fuel being caught on fire and combust, while the air is fires met, smoke blends together, and it kind of knits itself together, making itself a stronger structure. But a lot of it went out to sea, dissipated and flattened out, and whatever. Probably smaller amounts than it would be. These fires have been burned. This is hot. It's already hot on fire seat. So nitrogen dioxide, I'll come back. Reflectance give us daily satellite image of every day instead of just lights. Populate really good shots already. 20th. These Alice Springs right here. Also, fires, perimeter. But also a lot of smoke. If I were to mash these up, uh, yeah, different. Sorry it's taking so long. Be snappy. I won't switch it to different bands, different satellite nation. Be different. There we go. All the smoke here. All of this land freshly burned. You can see north here in the Northern Territory going into Western Australia. See the fire perimeter. Sorry if I don't draw it. That smoke that is smoke continues to travel west with the winds, dry conditions, no sign of rain in days. A lot of smoky, dry, poor air quality conditions are leading to massive hundreds of kilometers or miles or fires are burning at a substantial rate. All that very dark land, all freshly burned, would still be hot, telling how deep fires do. Just more fires by springs that are a lot of different fire points, active fire front. Overwhelming to see. Back to satellite view, Alice Darwin, time lapse over the past that we missed over. Darwin. This is fires here. Some are connected, some are not. Fire here. All previous burned land at a distance of 100 kilometers. Far. That's just it, but now come back to the worst it like that. Now this picture would look a lot different if they only had more than one air quality sensor per 100 kilometers. It is alarming. See the smoke, but people don't see what is represented as air quality. It's going to be a bad smoke day. It is reported on the news. It's nothing you can check. Either these numbers are not public facing, or they just don't have the air sensors. And I know we can here in America, we can volunteer our own air sensors. Government fire and smoke map here. Click on them, get all kinds of information. Great. Really don't need much more information than that. As a bare minimum of having a number associated with it. This is a failure. Another failure that will tank the Australian government again and time again. Whoever then anything done, do anything. Happening here. Yet, and this air sense not hard. These are not like real-time cameras or weather cameras. They don't cost $70,000 per install. These are cheap air quality sensors. All relative. This is. I still have this. Okay. Rid of that. Darwin, you've already seen it up here north. It's pitiful to see. Smoke is going to come first, then the fires underneath the smoke. Like what? People coming out of going to your house and stealing smoke detectors. Not allowed. I don't understand this. There's nothing worse than that, right? Instead of just having no smoke detectors whatsoever. Alarming. I know it's bushfires and I don't want people to see how bad the air quality gets during these fire seasons, but no, they know. Like, this is as common today as it's going to be rain. Check that. This is very strange to see. Not until again, these are all fires burning here. Hundreds and hundreds of kilometers of fires burning. I'm not going to count all that, but that's roughly polygon area where all these fires are happening. So a little bit more giant area fires. See a daily day of the week. Change it to October. October 11th. October 11th again here. See, it's relatively all these fires up. Starts up here 21st, beginning of fire season. Play. See some fires burning. Perimeters have been stretching out. Massive fire here. Territory. Still. 23. Lots of smoke. fire up here. I continue to burn. October. Probably under amounts of fires that are that area. Big area that's burnt. Big area that's burnt. It's epidemic of bushfires. These smoke plumes are dozens or hundreds of kilometers, depending if there's fires that are up or just one. But we'll play. We can see more of these stretched out fire perimeters that are just reaching for everything. Smoke is following the pattern with the smoke below fire. Large active fire perimeter here in the north side of this region, still in the northern territory. October 14th. See here. Fire is again, smoke is low, pushed up in plumes. Plume hits the ceiling unless it is a thermal inversion. Otherwise, it's going to fall back down locally. Now these fires, wind hits it, lifts up all the particulates and the heavier particles out, down. And the smoke traveled for days. I say days, even though not truly days, but in the air, same smoke that was produced on the 13th, 14th, 15th. 3 days worth of smoke. Smoke is not something that should be counted. Fighting with other smoke. The air, it mends itself together. That could be the potential mega fire, as these fires next are about to see. 19th, getting a lot dirtier. These fires are getting smoke is becoming very black, billowing, very threatening. Gasoline, cars, something. Building structures. You're not seeing that white smoke that earlier, but seeing a lot of very dense smoke. Now, however long this round down picked up and lifted, built up, and it could be hundreds of tons of smoke. It's that is just often in this 20th. A lot of fires burning. Fire here. Pull it in the map. Like they're gonna turn on. Not there. Great. Nothing. People out there are just see. Here's some wispy, white grayish. It just kind of fills the valleys. It kind of does a rubbing technique to get rid of all of its particulates. Smoke can travel further. Unless they travel further. Smoke doesn't do except base conditions. This, there, several hundred kilometers. Massive, massive, massive bushfire that have hit. Fuel that past 3 days these fires did. Now huge stretches of fire burning, active fire from moving outward fast. All the way to Western Australia out to sea. You see here, smoke. Are zoomed in. Out, zoom out. This area, get it under. I'll just draw it again. Smoke. Smoke. You have a lot of smoke that's going out into the ocean. Smoke and fire, and all that. Tracks paths of fire. Very dense smoke up here. A lot of burned land that's affecting with each other. Conditions don't go away. Fire season, these fires are numerous. Especially this area of smoke concern. Whole area of Western Australia seeing both smoke from its own territory and North Territory, Australia. A lot of activity. Wildfires at possible point of origin, or at least its run is located right around here. It's burning out to sand dunes. This is burning all of green shrubs and trees and everything else. That's going to increase the size of its burning all the way runs. Might look like that. Phase of the smoke. Satellite image are from today. We can see large, very, very large areas containing smoke that hasn't been lifted yet, that is still from fires that are presently burning. Smoke will allow for fires to end with each closer. The light smoke here across the line. All this smoke is going to be hit by wind, hit by, carried off by a plane, birds, anything. Smoke will follow if you lead it going. Very poor condition, poor air quality conditioning for huge, say, half of Northern Territory and half, a third, Western Australia. Currently experiencing smoke everywhere. Really be under a state of emergency. People, smoke is everywhere and it's bad and it's down on top. Respirate. The kind of smoke that you see in here is it lifts up and it falls back down, but hundreds of miles away. Even though these burns, these bushfires might be happening in regions, they are happening in populated. Say it all the way up to Darwin. Turn back on orders. Yes. Back to oh well. Almost daytime for all of Australia. Is a 10-minute play on these, but we already see massive amount of smoke here. This all smoke here. Body. That is smoke being pulled and pushed in different ways. Smoke will follow anything but itself. Once it starts going, it's in motion. But wind and things really changing pressure, air pressure, can change its path. Here, burned area. A wisp might be part of this fire cone. Smoke joining with larger smoke structure. Smoke goes hundreds of kilometers. Just looking, sunrise is currently being experienced in the Northern Territory. This is well, let's go to is substantial fire burning here. south of Emerald, not near the coast. Let's see, Roma to the south, the burning, the lush vegetative area. Kind of looks like a brass knuckles shaped. There. All layered. Here. It's, or is it for huddling together race? This is back to it. I can put a test 3 hours satellite image. Most of it will be dark. So an example is see on satellite image at night. When it's daytime, you can see everything. All the fire. Other than nothing. Long burn. Yeah, that is a problem. Burning for days is areas of the best weather. Smoke mixed area. Here. Oh. South. Very thick jungle area by the coast. Only gonna have like an hour or so available, but smoke lines is fairly evident. One big one right. Smoke is south. Get pulled in. North. Fort Douglas. Wildfire, another fire. You can see there are numerous fires currently. Burn on this front. Fire here. Several fires burning, but kind of a misnomer since burning for fires are burning so fast and cover around they become mega fires. Smoke clears. The tall arch is smoke falling back down to another area will transfer material all the way up to is smoke screen, mostly being fed by this fire here. Also these fires here. Far northern England. So that's pretty crazy. This is like, wow, these fires are burning by Atherton and Cairns, Douglas, or Douglas. I didn't make mention. That is fires red hot. That would be evacuations. People couldn't tell by the air quality. So up here, so with all of this out here, down south and back into the bay, heats up the Gulf around it, and it's constantly fed by this fire. These fires up also make their smoke. Fires burn days at a time. Low amount of burn, low travel, but these fires in Queensland, they burn steady at the same spot. Like either it's being controlled or contained, like in Northern Territory where it's like anything controlled or maintained right now. Hence by it is uncontrolled amount of smoke right here, getting near Alice Springs. As the sun continues to rise over the rest of Australia, we'll see more. Still so much of it to cover. Australia, massive. A lot of islands, Tasmania, all the way to the south, which it did not have a fire, or is it clouds? I can't. Or by cloud. Fire here. Populated, or say, a heavy forest here, all on the fires, all along, all along. Fire primitive, both maintained, but Northern Territory, back to the Sentinel-2 images. Beyond, satellite image territory that we saw already. Big back billowing non-stop, just churning, just sitting there. So a great wind hits it, take all of it away everywhere. Highway, I don't know if fires, massive. Season here to last. I'm gonna go post. Check the That fire that we saw active. A lot of smoke travels, nothing up and up, but if it's gonna go up and up and up, it's gonna go to the side of the equator, where it's gonna count on the thermal inversion. Either way, there are pretty far west of the Gold Coast, Brisbane, southwest of Brisbane. Fires burning through the fields, vegetation, mountain rock. Complicated because so many different fires that are burning mean massive fire perimeter. Life and quality. Now, more fires burned. Land. This thing looks like soot, ash, scorched earth, oh, sprinkling, crumpling, 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 fires. Sorry about that. Firing amount of smoke. Dozens of fires exist. By Gladstone. This is actually by populated area. Gladstone. Gladstone. Don't have to look too hard, too far to find bushfires. One looks to be a pretty mean one. Dawson Highway. Runs all along the Dawson Highway. It's burning. Your car backed up. Could be a car. Anything. Never know. Fire we were looking at this by Darwin. Runs along the river. This fire is going to burn these feet until it gets to this river. There, it will have an effect like a slow effect. It will continue the fire. Around 90 kilometer, 500 square kilometer. Back over to Earth. Hail. Wildfire nearby. Lots of smoke by Australia. Lots of smoke all the way up to Darwin. And more sea on borders. A little bit longer until it gets to the western side of Australia. Don't see a lot more smoke except for where it borders Northern Territory, Australia. This is a peculiar fire, coastal fire. Further coast than Armadale. Right here, this fire up north and the fire in the Coast Harbor of Bulga. See, the smoke doesn't become a squall line on its own. It gets into the squall line. Smoke will eventually force weather to move out of the way. Smoke doesn't Those sticks, everything. Another fire here, or smoke joining up here where it's ending. And then once that smoke touches each other, even though it's not straight, it's not lined up, it's not parallel, it's smoke. It's going to become a suspension bridge of support. Sticks together. Might not look like much, and then becomes a giant smoke structure in the sky. That's what we're looking for right now, which we already know that we found by Alice Springs. It's not on Alice Springs. Giant smoke structure. I have not seen something like this since the Maryland, Maine whole seaboard smoke crisis. Not earlier in the year, I just mean like last month. Stayed off in the top of it. Board right here. This is more of a smoke structure that we're currently looking at that it doesn't go away. It needs to be pushed by weather. Eventually it gets filtered by the winds and makes it lighter and it gets more dissipated. But this thing is gnarly look. This is a big smoke structure. Where it's too heavy to fly off and it's sticking, connecting, and there might be a little trail off northwest side. But Alice Springs in a rough time. If they had more air quality index anything, besides 1 per 500 kilometers, Australia, what the hell? Powered sensors are not expensive. Put them out for the public and tourists to know that, hey, you go hiking up the mountain, smoke, and it's a bad day, breathing. That is Arlene. It's going to be heading north. However this thing wants to spin, you will see this entire structure here. You're going to see this whole thing move independently, the smoke touching it and weather. It's going to move as a structure. That's how tightly bound the smoke gets when it ends together after joining a series of fires that have been burning. It becomes a structure in the sky that if the thing were to fall down, it would just be a massive eruption of extremely unhealthy air quality. The thing would just hit an area and it would look like fog, but you would immediately notice. No way. If you've ever been part of where, oh, there's a lot of smoke in the sky coming down, you know it's smoke. There's no question about it. Unless you can't taste. Problems tasting. Probably have a hard time breathing it. Just indicator. Now this thing will just fall off and just go off on its own, or it can come back down Alice Springs, but it won't break apart. Probably will be like this. It's hit with winds of 100 miles an kilometer an hour, because it probably busted up somewhat, but not in the ways that you would imagine. Smoke stick to itself and find itself around. On long period of time, and it snaps together into a suspension bridge of a smoke structure. Quite amazing to see. see smoke that's traveling either in a run or a line, or right here is where the fire's at. This isn't smoke that's came from this smoke structure. And then fire of itself is heading towards a slope in a river. It means that it's going to gain speed, it's going to tumble, and material is going to blow up. Not blow up. Okay, it just, before it turns to ash, that molten period. Ever seen wood chips burn? Period before ash, they'll turn into 1,000 pieces. Fiery, be like 700 degrees Fahrenheit. This smoke is coming from this run right here. Double check this by just going in 10-minute increments. Oh yeah, of course it's still almost daylight, a little bit long. But it's still very gnarly to see that smoke structure here sitting above Alex Springs. Where I want it to look, but you cannot see smoke during the nighttime satellite on radar. Unreal. Now coming back up to Darwin, where there's plenty of fires burning south of it. Patches here previously burned. These are still on fire. Here, the field burned here. They're all active fire perimeters. They just might not be burning on the same side of the perimeter, but they're still making active gains in the hundreds of kilometers every day. Couple of days. Like a lot of here. Let's back a couple of minutes. Fire. See right here. Still moving. Billowing out. Smoke goes in all directions, pushed by the forces that are causing the fire. There you feel fire. In itself. Earth. That what came. That. 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 Guy right here. There. Darwin. Right here. Right here. Right here. All previous burns within this fire season. Here, this zoom in here. Alice Springs is very amazing. Smoke, smoke wraps around mountainside, around heats itself. Heat itself at 6 different points of contact and different. There's an active fire action. Probably right here. Nope. Fire beat. Now closer into Western Australia. Also between possible connecting by air. Oh, that works. I'm keep. It's still a little thing. I can't believe that. Now, now I'm ready. Now I'm ready to get possible things in Australia and fire seas. As you can see on the map, right here. Got a fire run, advancing, and huge perimeter right there. Might be a guess. Here, fire travels, smoke, northwest. A lot of smoke. So, beyond nitrogen dioxide, entire continent. See, hang around, anchored. Seen something like this, and always worth talking about. A smoke ship. It's like a ghost, actual ghost ship. Thing's going to move, going to just be in the surroundings, unless it's dominated by fire up in the freezing out. No. Body. We argued that fire here, crossed over, burnt heavily here. Land. So the fire is burning. Very strange. Very wind whip, tornadic, one-sided tornado pushing the churns across the land. Here, something very big right here. Right here. That is big old formed like an explosion. Low explosion. A lot of, I don't mean just gasoline. Bust. Change rapidly. Could be a new active fire perimeter burning on already field of very minor amount. This little guy right here being the problem. Bigger problem. Smoke is already built. Fires don't stop during the night, and the smoke does mix together and cling. Except smoke structure smoke shield. Think of it how you will, because it is a structure. It can represent. And then you would wonder how it traveled over 500 kilometers overnight and still look and retain the same shape. Work. Oh, area here. Very smoky. Smoke is very fast. Fires here. Here. Hours. See it move. Fulcrum. Hang and stick together and across West Australia. Fires have made such far advanced. It still has a lot of fuel on those perimeters. A lot. It's almost half of northern Australia now. Smoke. By smoke sense. Alternate to put it like on multiple burns on fire perimeter. massive fire growth potentially coming day. These fires aren't slowing down. 3 to 5 days from transit. God damn it. Western Australia side. See plenty of smoke, fire, smoke producing fire. So much fuel. Puffs of smoke. Fires. Now this is Western Australia, but burning. Not noticed fires there. And dark smoke. All these here. Have this. So circled areas are the areas that I'll look into right now. I think the fire path originated and came from and traveled based on time lapses of smoke traveled. Be a lot easier if Australia just probably wrong one. Northern Australia has 3 air sensors. Northern Territory Australia has only 3 air quality sensors. 3 fires are burning on the other side of them. This giant happy face here with that massive smoke structure hanging over Alice Springs. This is probably low to the ground sense, building height. These represent the 150 here. That's, yeah. Seen those fires over here up in Queensland. Just fires. Fires that have been burning all in Northern Territory, dumping all this smoke here. There's a giant smoke structure here, sending the smoke out to sea. More fire here. Fire here. See, and there's a little fire here, down here. There's a fire here. And it's 150 AQI. That's a similar kind of smoke that we saw here. Except this comes down back to Western Australia. This air comes back down to Western Australia. It goes over to the island. Over the Timor Sea. But without knowing, hey, This air quality station said this at 9 p.m. and that measures up with what we can see on satellite. But now it's 11 p.m. night. You can't see satellite radar. So you would rely on air quality and by where you think the smoke is gone, going. Just no. Not good. In Australia, like you should at least be able to hook private when public facing anything. You gotta be close to the capital territory to really see anything. Only 3 in all in Northern. Unreal. Queensland's no better. It's just coastline, forest area. Massive, massive, massive. That's much higher than these gauges. While it's no threat right now, it's going to come down. It's going to travel. Left alone, it will fall down back to the area. Imagine an area with a green happy face of 7 for good suddenly is up to 300, 500. Seen this in California twice this year. Other parts north. That was especially the second round that was later in the smoke struck. Kept in the Gulf of Maine and didn't days. Same, 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 same structure. Here, up at Alex Springs. Then the joins the other. Okay, on a different look. Massive. 129 kilometers. Has these arms. While this one here fanning out at 43 kilometers. Things are massive. All smoke. All smoke. All the way back. All smoke. You know it's smoke because nitrogen dioxide indicator. Australia doesn't have a lot of air quality and relying on when daylight comes the or what is that? And it's 100. That hell? Probably something tricks on satellite image smoke and being fire and definitely a fire down there. How black this burns, that's scorched earth. That's pain. See if I can match it up. Yeah. Here's its matched up pairing. It hasn't burned as much, but it's still the same area. So this might be a out west. You can still see patches, darker patches. Fire is burning recently. along a river. Fire ends up rolling into all the material fire. That all just on a slope. It's hot. Fahrenheit and see these massive explosions, massive expansion of fire just after very dangerous water when it heats up pans. It also pieces of fallen. Getting a good picture of what else. I haven't checked news area. Fires. I don't see this fire up here. Fires. Fires are fast, covering hundreds of kilometers every day. That's huge. Fire here, burn very backing up. Furnishes carbon. Now that's hell. That is hell. Fires. Fires. A lot of different fronts. Huge, huge, huge perimeter. Massive, giant plume of smoke. See, once the smoke gets to a certain height, it exits. Unless it's too heavy to go further, and then it clouds up. Without hitting thermal inversion, allowing it to go further up, closer to the equator. Just easy, right? Flattening itself out, dissipates all throughout territory. Our fires, intense, intense smoke. Even though these fires have only been burned days or more, 3. These regions weren't burned. These fast-moving fires connected, created a mega fire. Besides, that's massive. A lot of fire activity, a lot of very fast, massive fire activity all throughout. Is more rhythm, a pattern that you can smoke. See that? I sure did. Something very big went up, or this was a lot of smoke that was sitting. This is a huge run. Fire is vast, vast, and it is throwing all that smoke over. Comes up like this. Smoke gets caught up and just lofted. Also, any gas is expelled from the region. Like anything carbon burns, carbon-based life form that burns. This is massive, massive, massive. This is a fire that just started today. You can see it down there just turning up. Sponges. Its origin. Altitude. Only just a few short minutes. Amazing. You can actually see it as daylight is approaching. Yeah. Massive. Takes this station, but it's just a way. That's more of what's happening here. Not that there was an explosion that created a mushroom. Not a mushroom. No, it grows like a mushroom. Fire will be at the base. Smoke would keep beating up until the sky until it hits the version. Or then all that smoke flatten itself out, dissipate, flatten itself out again, dissipate. So eventually it giant plate or ball cloud that is as high as it can get. Winds will carry it over, but this is very low to the. Something got hit. Something big went up. I don't think of no tree either. More like homes. More like cars. Size of this cloud. I was taking this as geologic oddity. After seeing it move, it's definitely a giant plume of smoke, followed by actually 44 kilometers. This thing is huge. Could be just the surface of the top of where the sun hitting it. Give it another thermal inversion. Go up higher. It would want to go up north of it. But it is on a train of fire. Barely just being able to see here. Floating and that thing is shifting. See all the other smoke. Now you can better see all the smoke. All smokes. curtain. Just make it easier and all smoke coming from here. Giant, another giant plume of smoke that's gonna go up, flatten itself out. Whole disc is going to move forward toward water. Rise up because it's easy. Reaches thermal inversion. Water. Higher. The gases expelled. Keeps the smoke up higher. This isn't. There are some islands over island. Healing islands and Focus Islands. Far away, but this smoke on a journey there. On a journey to Indonesia. It is all over the got some out of this amazing smoke structure. Mind above. Still an active fire like I thought. The active fire is changing the smoke structure. Do it, pushing away. Just is a power jet spray of heat, ash, and debris and smoke, placing it, pushing away, pushed away. Except build up and stick to each other. Massive. If it wasn't for this fire right here that's currently burning, stay there. Instead, it's being added to, so later on, check it again. See another shape or rotated. Rotated degrees. Unless this stream of smoke coming from fire here changes it too much, the equivalent of getting hit by a kilometer changes. Not being caught up here in the front, going far into line, easily being able to areas. Okay, here, ever hit. I gotta look at There we go. Like about 100 kilometers southeast of fields or the fires at different altitude heating. I know even deep. I'm curious. It's closer to the coast. What it might have hit. Uh, off the highway one. Bluish there. See a lot of bush, a lot of some trees. I'm not seeing anything that would. It must have just hit a forest and just coughed it. That's huge. Apologies. We have a hard out for tonight, so we're here. Fire. Here. That. Walk. Names here. Stacks. Round out and flatten out. And into a disc where it's flat enough to move the stone. Cloud system. Right altitude. Let it divert. Clouds will go up or under. Some clouds will clouds like this that are higher up in the atmosphere. We can break them apart. Pollution. Fire is going to be raging for most of the day. Right by Alice Springs is Dragon's Tail of unknotted. Pretty productive fire. Tail. All the way far north side of Queensland. All the way. Keeps coming back right to this big old structure. It has links all over the place. All of the smoke structure connects with massive amounts of smoke in the suspension bridge. Smoke traveling everywhere. Well, that is daytime. Morning for Australia. Lots of smoke and rain, especially this right in the middle. Alice Springs, just massive wildfire that's turning out alarming amounts of smoke that has been turned into wall lines that is time up. A lot of smoke. A lot of smoke. Alright. That unlook now. It comes especially on the Alice Springs wildfire there. And California. Northern California by Sacramento. East of Sacramento. For watching. Like and subscribe.